Hey guys, Luke with Logical Lacrosse here, and welcome to part 3 of my NCAA Lacrosse Week 5 review. As all my reviews, please check down in the description below. If you're looking for a specific game, it'll definitely be listed in the description, and if you don't find the game you're looking for in this part, definitely check out my other 2 parts or wait for one of my special features, as I am definitely covering all the Division 1 lacrosse games this week. So, after saying that, let's get into this. So, first game for part 3, not really close. Thought it was going to be closer. Hofstra hosting Georgetown. Hofstra falls to Georgetown 6-14 in front of a home crowd of 1,208 people. Again, this game was not really close. Shots favored Georgetown 34-32. Both teams did well taking care of the ball. Only 13 turnovers for Georgetown, 14 for Hofstra. Georgetown wins the ground ball battle 20-16. Man up, 1 for 3 for Georgetown, 0 for 3 for Hofstra, so both teams got to work on that. But players of the game, we'll start with Georgetown. Daniel Bucaro, 3 goals and 3 assists, 6-point game. Really good day for him. And for Hofstra, I got Ryan Tierney with a hat trick. He was 50% of their scoring output. So really a dominant performance by Georgetown. I'm impressed by this win. I thought they were looking a little vulnerable, especially after that close win to Mt.Saint Mary's. So I'm happy for them that they look to be improving a little bit, or they definitely improved a little between the Mt.Saint Mary's in this game. But yeah, tough loss for Hofstra as well. So if you didn't watch this game, you definitely missed out. And I'm talking about the Cornell Albany game. This one in Ithaca, New York. Cornell, if you didn't know. And Cornell takes this one 17-16 after a furious comeback from Albany. Also, a side note, Tahoka Nanticoke didn't play in this game. There was no reason why, but he explained to us, but a little weird. He didn't play, so either injured or something else going on. But he missed the fall as well, so it's just a little weird to see him just missing a game as well. He didn't play that well last week either, so we'll keep an eye on that. We'll see if he's back next game for Albany. But this was in front of a home crowd of 335 people. It was snowing, so I don't blame a lot of people skipping out, maybe watching on stream or doing something else in home. But Cornell wins this game off of a buzzer beater. They really allowed Albany to get back in the game, but a buzzer beater does it. We'll get into the guy who does that really soon. But shots favoring Albany 44-37. 20 turnovers for them, 13 for Cornell. But ground balls 42-29 favoring Albany. Face-offs, Albany wins 25-12. Man up, 3 for 6 for Albany, and they didn't get any penalties called, so Cornell never got a chance to convert on the man up. Players of the game, Jacob Patterson, 3 goals, 3 assists for Albany. And for Cornell, I got Connor Fletcher, 2 goals, 2 assists. And he had the game winner. Albany scored with about a minute left to tie, and I was like, oh man, Cornell's really looking like they're going to blow this. And then they stop Albany. Albany had the ball. With about 30 seconds left, they take a timeout. They run through their stuff, and Cornell makes a big play, gets the ball back. They run down, and they shoot, and they score. They had no timeouts too, so they couldn't set it up anything like a specific play. So it was a great win for Cornell. They're one of the few teams to get out of February undefeated. They got Penn State next week. That's a big game for both teams. So we'll see if Cornell can take that undefeated momentum. Moving on. So again, they might be number 1 in the nation if Maryland loses to Notre Dame, but that's coming up tomorrow as a time of me recording this at least. But yeah, good win for Cornell and Albany, 1 and 2. Well, it's looking a little rough for them, but definitely showed some signs of hope in the second half. So a really good game. UMass was winning by a decent amount, they started this game out 4-0. I was watching. This is why I didn't watch the start of the Cornell-Albany. I was like, geez, this game's pretty good. And Yale wins at home in overtime, 12-11 to UMass. UMass, 3rd loss to Yale in this past year. Really tough for them. They've been so close every time. Shots favoring Yale, 50-28. Ground balls favoring Yale, 38-27. Face-offs favoring Yale. Well, of course, they had TD early, 18-8. Man up, 3 for 7 for Yale, 2 for 3 for UMass. Teams took care of the ball, 15 for turnovers for UMass, 14 for Yale. Players of the game, UMass, Sean Scanone, 14 saves. He did really well early for UMass, but Yale just got some vibe later on, and then in overtime, clearly. And for Yale, I got Matt Gaudet. He had 3 goals, 1 assist. He had the game-winning goal in overtime. I think Yale kind of sneaked by this one a bit. They got a little lucky. UMass definitely played them in the first half, but I mean, that's what national title teams do. They are losing. They win a game they probably shouldn't win. And, they come back and they handle the adversity really well. So Yale has been pretty impressive after that loss to Villanova. They had that win against Penn State last week and beat a pretty good UMass team, even though the record doesn't show it this week. So tough loss for UMass. They got to keep their heads up. They cannot feel bad about this performance. And great job by Yale handling this adversity. So St. Joseph's hosting Monmouth. Monmouth won earlier in the week. St. Joseph's wins this one 8-6 in a defensive battle. Interesting thing, no goals were scored in the fourth quarter, so really good defense there by St. Joseph's. Just hold the 8-6 lead for a whole 15 minutes, no less. Really impressive. But this was in front of a home crowd of 932 people. Shots in favor of St. Joseph's, 34 to 29. Turnovers ridiculously high for both teams, 26 for Monmouth, 29 for St. Joseph's. Clears 20 of 26 for Monmouth, 15 of 22 for St. Joseph's. Monmouth wins the ground balls, 37-35. Yeah, really sloppy game if you couldn't get it from these stats. But mana, 0 for 1 for Monmouth, 1 for 2 for St. Joseph's. So St. Joseph's converting on that one man up, and then Monmouth not converting on their one really made the difference. Instead of it being a one-goal game or tied 7-7, it was 8-6. So shows the man up's importance there. But players of the game for Monmouth, I got Brock Anderson, 2 goals, 1 assist. Really good game for him. 50% of the offensive efficiency there. And St. Joseph's player of the game is Nick Vernacchio. He had 2 goals and 2 assists. So good defensive battle, and St. Joseph's just comes out ahead. So Bucknell bumped down to 1-4. Definitely struggling as they lose to Navy 14-8 on the road. Navy, a home crowd of 654 people. 7-2 Navy at half. Not a close game, really ever. Not competitive. Shots favored Navy 47-38. Turnovers 18 for Bucknell, 21 for Navy, which is definitely uncharacteristic of them. Ground balls, Navy wins 39-31. Man up, Navy 0 for 3. Bucknell deserves credit on the man up, 3 for 5. So Navy's going to have to want to pay attention to that 0% conversion rate on the man up. Not good. But players of the game, Bucknell's Alston Terry, 4 goals, and Navy's Christian Daniel, 4 goals, 3 assists. Yeah, not much to say at this game. Navy really just was the better team, and they showed it within the score and just in the statistics. And yeah, Bucknell's really kind of struggling now after that opening loss to Maryland. They looked good after that loss. It was a good loss, but yeah, they have not looked good since. So, closer game than expected. Rutgers maybe a little bit disappointing this year, at least right now. They went on the road 8-4 at Fairfield in front of a home crowd of 851 people. Rutgers won both halves 4-2, so I thought that was kind of funny. It was the same scoring in both halves. Just a neat little fact for you guys. Shots favored Fairfield 43-39. Both teams had 17 turnovers, so pretty average. Fairfield, was 17-24 on clears, which really made a difference in them losing this game. Not good enough to beat a good team like Rutgers, or at least a talented team. I don't know quite how good Rutgers is, to be honest. Definitely kind of struggled some. But ground balls, 33-22, favoring Fairfield. Both teams, 0% of the man up. 0 for 3 for Fairfield, 0 for 1 for Rutgers. Fairfield converts on all those, 8-7, and you never know what happens. So that really took away their momentum. And Rutgers does it with credit, though, for the man-down defense being so stout there. But players of the game, I got Rutgers' Max Edelman. He had 17 saves, really a wall. I mean, to allow only 4 goals in a game is really impressive. And I got Travis Ford for Fairfield with 2 goals, 50% of their goals. So, good defensive battle. Rutgers is not looking quite as good as what I expected. Maybe I just had too high of expectations for them. But, I mean, Fairfield, if they would have had a little bit better of an offense, they probably would have won this game. But nevertheless, Rutgers wins, and they didn't get a big, bad loss on the resume. I mean, that Army loss is not very good for them wanting to make the NCAA. But yeah, they win this game, and they'll just have to keep grinding and hopefully improve. So, Holy Cross at Loyola. Holy Cross played Loyola tough, but they lose 19-15 on the road. Loyola really dominates in the fourth quarter, 7-4 to crush any last bit of Holy Cross resistance. But Holy Cross really deserves credit in this game, by the way. But home crowd of 1,078 people, so great turnout for a lacrosse game. Shots favoring Loyola, 44-40. Turnovers only 14 for Holy Cross, 17 for Loyola. Ground balls favoring Loyola, 40-34. Man up for Loyola does well, 2 of 3. Holy Cross 0 for 1. So Loyola really did well on their special teams this game. Players of the game for Holy Cross, I got Will Spangenberg. He had 3 goals and 3 assists, whereas Loyola's Pat Spencer set the record for most points in a game in 2019. So he's the leader in that. He had 3 goals and 8 assists. He's an assist machine, and Holy Cross cannot stop him in doing whatever he wanted to do. He's really a reason Loyola won this. Loyola's defense is kind of suspect in this game. I mean, Holy Cross is better than what I thought they were going to be, so I'm really glad to see that. They struggled with Patriot. They might sneak up on some other teams. They played the top team in the league really well. But yeah, Loyola's defense a little suspect. Some cracks in the armor showing up for Loyola, but nevertheless they win, and they can move on to next week, 1-1 for Week 5. So VMI escaped February unscathed, but their first game in March ends that undefeated streak. They lose on the road at Mt.Saint Mary, who lost to Georgetown early in the week, 12-6 in front of a home crowd, 279 people. It was 8-4 Mt.Saint Mary's at half, and then they came out of halftime with a 3-0 run in the third. So really kind of crushed any hope for VMI there. They really could not get back in after allowing such runs. Shots favoring Mt.Saint Mary's 48-46. Ground balls, Mt.Saint Mary's wins as well, 37-36. Face-offs, VMI loses this battle 6-15, and power play, I was thinking hockey, but 0 for 4 for VMI, 2 for 5 for Mt.Saint Mary's. So it would have been 12-10 if VMI would have converted all this. So man up. Mt.Saint Mary's man-down defense deserves credit, though, for holding them 0%, but not good enough for VMI. But players of the game, I got Benjamin Stump. He had 19 saves for VMI. Kept this game closer than it probably should have been. And for Mt.Saint Mary's, I got Chris DiPetro. He had 4 goals and 1 assist. So good rebound for Mt.Saint Mary's after losing to Georgetown at home. And first loss for VMI. I mean, everyone loses eventually. I mean, there's like 2 undefeated teams left. Yeah, I think all I can think of is Towson and Cornell. If there's another one, let me know. I can't think of them at the moment. But yeah, I mean, VMI cannot feel bad. Everyone loses eventually. So let's hope they can keep improving. It's kind of exciting to see them being a lot better this year. But again, good win for Mt.Saint Mary's on beating an undefeated team. So this game, not unexpected to me. Boston wins it at home, 12-4 against Vermont. Vermont not nearly as good as I thought they were going to be this year. So they looked pretty good against Utah, and they have gone downhill ever since. But this was in front of a crowd of 205 people. It was 7-3 Boston at half, and then Boston comes out of the halftime with getting 3 goals in the third quarter, not allowing any. And really kind of quenched any hope for Vermont. Shots favoring Boston, 53-30, 26 turnovers for Vermont, 17 for Boston. Vermont was only 19 of 27 on their clears. Definitely not good enough, but the Boston Ride deserves credit there. Must have been using a 10-man ride, or at least part of it. If they weren't, then that's really bad for Vermont, that they weren't even getting a 10-man ride put on them. Ground balls, 43-33, favoring Boston. Man up, only 1 for 5 for Vermont, 3 for 6 for Boston, so Boston special teams played really well there. Vermont, not so much. Vermont's player of the game, Nick Washuta, 16 saves. And for Boston, I got Chris Gray with 3 goals, 2 assists. So yeah, dominant win for Boston. Vermont, not looking that good. I don't think anyone in the American East Conference is looking that good. I mean, Albany is 1-2. They had a pretty good loss to Cornell today, but yeah, I mean, AAC is not looking good. But a good win for Boston. They're going to be entering conference play soon, so this was a good win to springboard them into that play. So, final game for Part 3 is Quinnipiac at NJIT. I thought NJIT may get their first win of the year here, but I was wrong, as Quinnipiac wins on the road 16-14, so they deserve credit for proving me wrong. Congrats to them. And this carried in front of a home crowd of 175 people. It was 8-3 in the first quarter for Quinnipiac, so NJIT did fight back, but the lead was just too big. early on. They couldn't dig themselves out of that hole. Shots favoring the Highlanders, 49-41. Turnovers, both teams took care of the ball. NJIT especially deserves credit for this because they really struggled with that in all their other games. Only 15 turnovers for Quinnipiac, whereas NJIT had 13. Ground balls, Highlanders win 31-28, excuse me. Face-offs, pretty even, 17-15, favored Quinnipiac. NJIT was 2 for 4 on the man-up. Quinnipiac had no chances because NJIT had no penalties called against them for the power play. And players of the game, Quinnipiac's Jake Thompson, 8 goals. He's the reason they won, 50% of their goals. And the Highlanders just could not stop him. He was unstoppable for them. And NJIT's player of the game, Aaron Forster, he was also unstoppable, Mr. Incredible over here, with 9 goals, 2 assists, and he was amazing this game. Shame he loses, but a good win for Quinnipiac and NJIT. I mean, I feel bad for them. I really want them to start getting some wins to help really springboard that program. But, I mean, they're just going to have to keep working at it and hope that their hard work will eventually come through. But it's probably just not going to come as soon as they hoped. So, guys, that'll do it for part 3 of my Week 5 review. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe. I really appreciate it, as it really helps grow up the channel so more people can see my content and help me grow. But if you're looking for more content like this in between videos, please feel free to check out my Twitter or Instagram at the same username, logical_lacrosse. I also have a website with more content like this at www.logicallacrosse.com. If I didn't cover one of the other 2 games you're looking for, do not worry. Those are my special features, Virginia and Syracuse and Notre Dame and Maryland. So those are coming. If they're not already up, they are there. But as always, thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.